Hi, Dav here, and today we have a new episode in the art session series. And today we're going to be doing a voiceover of this quick session. I think I referenced one of the sketches or drawings of Otto Schmidt. I did review the guy in the channel, and I like the way he draws his figures. They're so like fluid, and there's not many lines when he does draw. Maybe he does have like maybe a rough draft, but I think he has quite a bit of sketches where it looks like, to me anyway, he does it all in like one go almost. The point is he's very confident with his lines, and I do like it. And the figures, obviously, the women, super freaking hot, and just they're usually petite. Some muscly, they're quite muscly because I think he mostly does like, or he's known for his superhero art. I think he does comics, whatever. So I'm trying to replicate some of his stuff here. I forgot who the character was, but it's essentially nude. But yeah, I want to see how long this video actually is. 3 minutes. It's not even that long of a video, but was I happy with my results? Not really, I'll be honest. I mean, it's okay, it's functional, but compare, like, if you knew the actual reference, you would be like, this does it doesn't even come close to a random sketch of or from Otto Schmidt. But what is sort of a takeaway from here is, well, I did like the way that I learned something about hands. Like, you can simplify it into like certain shapes a little bit. But the anatomy wise, I still don't have like enough understanding of certain nuances, because I think when you're drawing like anatomy, human anatomy, you can simplify it, right? It's good to have your own mannequins, but I think aside from knowing like the main like massing of the the torso, the arms, the head, the legs, you want to know certain anatomical nuances. Like, they're little slight detail. They're not everywhere. It's not in every single part of the body. For example, like the way the fold is drawn in that one area, or the way the knees kind of look. There's a certain kind of line, or you can like render it or sketch it a certain way that makes it look anatomically like based. So if you can get certain areas right, like for example, the hands, maybe the knuckles, the knees. For example, you can see the way the eye was drawn here. It kind of shows you that there's like an empty space. That's where the eye socket is, right? And you can see like the super huge lashes for some reason, which I did. Not sure why. But if you have some of those, like enough of those, it's gonna make your drawing, even though it's stylized, a lot more like believable. So that's kind of my takeaway. And also, yeah, it's not a good replication or totally. You know what? It is a study. Studies don't have to actually always look good, so I need to reframe my mindset there. But also, oh shit, it looped. A takeaway here is, compared to like a previous video or art session voiceover I did, I think 2 episodes back, I had a lot of lines, and I think that's why it looked kind of messy, and that kind of messy look influenced the visual. I think there's just too much visual noise, right? Like, if you can't distinguish between lines, it can work if the lines are that small or they're very thin, to the point where it's like hard to see. So you kind of average out like a midline for multiple lines. But if you have so many like thick lines, it's just gonna look not good. Maybe as a base, yeah, you can use it as a base, as a rough sort of drawing, so you can draw on top of it. But for presenting, it's just not gonna give you the same visual vibe. Now for this one, yes, it's kinda not the best, but because there's less line work, less line art, it just seems a lot more fluid, a lot more acceptable, a lot more easily consumable, right? Just because there's visually less noise, less visual noise. I think I tried drawing with a thicker brush. It's actually like an oil paint brush that I tried to use for line work. Maybe that's why I fucked up. I should have used like a pen or something, but I do like the thickness of it, but I may not use it in the future for these types of line art or line work. Maybe as like an actual painting brush for like I could use it like for as a thick brush pen, but as like a gestural drawing. I mean, you can use anything, but to me, I don't know, it just seems I could have used something different. But you know, when you're doing sessions like these, the takeaway or the benefit isn't always a good drawing. I know, it seems odd, right? For example, think about every time you have like a sucky, not so good, basically you're not satisfied with what you've drawn or painted or sketched. The takeaway or the benefit may not be the quality of it or the satisfaction of a good drawing, but it's the lesson is the main thing, or is the main thing you sort of take away. And when you learn that one thing, it does make your future work a lot better. It can lead you to a better path. For example, knowing that it's good to have less lines and more lines would just lead to more visually acceptable sketches. So knowing this, it's gonna make my future sketches a lot better, right? Even if I don't accomplish something satisfactory in this sketch, in this session, it serves a purpose, right? You have more, like some people's, well, maybe not people's, but some events, some experiences purpose is to guide you and not necessarily satisfy you. Oh wow, lesson. Right? It's kind of like people in a way, which can seem kind of dark, but yeah, there are people that are just good for you, sure, but yeah, even if some people are kind of assholes or they're just not cool or they have bad vibes, they may not satisfy you in that kind of way, but they can teach you something if you're willing to see what you can learn from that sort of experience. Then yeah, so experiences are still experiences and they can be good experiences if you try to find something that you can use. So with study sessions like these where you're trying to practice, try to find the win, try to find a gain, some kind of knowledge that or try to observe a little more and see what works, what doesn't work, what could you don't even know. You don't have to know like a full answer, you just have to know something, right? And then maybe in the next sketch you can piece up what you've learned. You can piece up your previous knowledge of something, let's say of this sketch, and you can piece up that with your new sort of experience of the present sort of moment. So to me, another way of thinking about doing these sketches is think about it as data, right? It's a data point. It may not serve you now, but it's good to have it, because once you do more work in the future, you can go back to like this past memory, this past experience, and you can finally figure out something. And sometimes when you do these types of work, it trains your muscle memory, right? Even though your drawing may suck, your hand kind of has experience in drawing, let's say, a body. So maybe the next time you draw a body, it's gonna not be as surprised. Even if you draw the previous body in a very sucky way, it's gonna be a little more experience. It's not gonna be as surprised, which means you can focus on other movements a lot easier because you're just not as shocked anymore. So sometimes I think I'm trying to find a word called, is it exposure therapy? For example, if you don't like spiders, you expose yourself to spiders. Is it exposure therapy or something like that? And maybe we're doing the same thing here, where we're exposing ourselves to drawing, even if we're not feeling good about it. I think if we're so used to just being in the practice of drawing, sketching, painting daily or consistently or habitually, it's gonna give you the next time you do it, the next time you're exposed to a drawing, sketching, painting session, you're just not gonna be as shocked. You're not gonna be as nervous, and by that time you're gonna have some experience, and it's just gonna be easier to approach problems from that point on, because you're not panicking, you're not like nervous, you're not worrying too much, because as they say, good drawing. I learned from like the Atomic Habits guy, James Clear. The secret to writing is rewriting. I think that's what he said, and we can apply this to like drawing as well. The secret to drawing is redrawing. So don't try to assume that you can go at it in one. Would it be nice to be Kim Jong-ki? Sure, but let's be real. We're not him, right? So good drawings are essentially redrawings. Basically, you have to fix some mistakes. Sometimes you have to redraw things completely. But that whole process of redoing things, redrawing things, resketching things, repainting things can be a lot. It's gonna make it a lot easier if you can handle that whole process And a good way to do that is to just be exposed in the process. If you're so used to just doing it, and you're not to the point where you're already comfortable with redrawing things and stuff like that, it's gonna make that whole thing not even an issue. So your focus by then is to simply like fix something. Your struggle is about maybe trying to elicit some kind of emotion from like a pose. So it's like a higher level thing, a higher level problem than say being worried about, oh, my lines suck, or my lines are not going the way I want them to. You know what I mean? Like your problems by then, because you're so used to drawing and just drawing, like daily or consistently, that in the future your problems are just gonna be very different. Hopefully understand what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I think I'll end the video here, and yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. Do you see how the big brush strokes look good? They look good, but as a line sketch, I should have used a pen. Maybe as a final thing to add like big black, oh wow, brush strokes. I'll use this brush, but for this sketch, maybe not. Oh, sorry, for this kind of line work, I could have used something else. Anyway, yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.